our next player here. We got Chubbs. The main thing I think that we need to look at is he changed the amulet. He changed the amulet. He changed it to Celestial Amulet. The implications of that. The implications of that are going to be pretty astronomical. But let's swap over to Morpheus real quick. We got him on Cleric Amulet as opposed to the Magi we're used to seeing from TOL1.
Yeah.
He's got the Soldier runes instead of the Monk. Still running similar traits, if not the exact same traits.
One reason why I think he did that was the burst.
Right.
Magi Amulet is really good against Condis. In fact, I'll still counter comp and put that Magi in when I think the team is the other team is going to try to swarm me with Condis, and I don't see a Thief or I don't see a Mesmer that can burst me down. But what we're seeing a lot in the NA scene right now is more bursty teams, especially with the power Necros that you're seeing running around, and you got Thieves and you've got more Mesmers. So I think he switched that just to help himself against that burst.
He's gonna have to be careful about that Necromancer, though. He really is.
Yeah, that could be a potential matchup problem. You don't want to see Morpheus rotating in against that Necromancer because, again, low health pool and Condis don't care about your toughness.
Yep.
All right, switching back then over to Chubbs. Let's look at Chubbs and give Chubbs his day here. Playing the staff again. You were saying switch to Celestial Amulet.
Yep. Probably just to make sure that he has a little bit more survivability, a little bit more damage pressure even too. Celestial Amulet adds a little bit of that condition damage a little bit. It loses a little bit of power, but you get the precision and you get that crit damage as well. So when he puts those lava fonts down, when he puts that earthquake up, it's going to be a lot. It's gonna be a lot worse to the enemy team than it was with a Cleric Amulet.
One thing I'm going to also point out here is, I mean, first of all, the traits are pretty standard right now for Staff Alley, 00266. But looking at the utilities, this is something, I mean, I haven't seen. You've got Glyph of Renewal. That's become popular recently among Staff Allies. I know he ran that during TOL, Glyph of Renewal to help revive allies. That's just for the res utility, I would assume. But then you've also got Glyph of Elemental Power. Can you give just a little insight? Why would you take Glyph of Elemental Power? What's the reasoning behind that?
The reasoning behind that is Chubbs likes to kind of play aggressively and elusively. He doesn't kind of need the stability on that really high cooldown. Glyph of Elemental Power allows him to add damage pressure, allows him to kite better depending on what he needs in the situation with a lower cooldown on that Stunbreaker. So that's what we're gonna have to look for, is his use of that under lockdown, because with that Terra Necro there, he won't have as much stability other than that 50% health on Armor of Earth through the trait line Earth's Embrace with that 2 in Earth Magic. He's gonna probably, he might get locked down. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
That'll be interesting to watch. Let's move on to looking at H-Man's build. H-Man is running with the Zerker Amulet. He's running not with Runes of Strength, but actually Runes of Holbrook. He's got the Longbow, and he's got the Hammer, so he's running standard Zerker Ham Bow with the traits being 00626.
So pretty standard there.
Yeah, and the utilities are pretty standard too, going all stances with that Signet of Rage. Doesn't have the banner, so he won't be able to res his teammates, but again, has the Signet of Rage for the damage output.
I do like the Holbrook rune choice. Reason being is that with the Zerker Amulet, you don't have the same sustain that Tarsus is used to having on a Soldier Amulet that he's typically running. So with the Holbrook rune, outside of his cleansing with the Cleansing Ire as well as the Berserker stance, he's going to be able to let those Condis fall off of him a little bit quicker, and he might sustain a little bit longer in those 1v1s and in the team fights.
So, looking at the second warrior now, Anis Tarsus, he's running with the Soldier's Amulet. He's going to be a little bit more tanky than as a result. He's also got the Holbrook runes. So, again, 2 Hambos not running with Runes of Strength.
Right.
That's interesting. Again, running with the Hammer, the Longbow, he's using Sigil of Doom, Sigil of Energy, Sigil of Leeching, and Sigil of Intelligence. Looking at the traits again, pretty standard, 00626.
One thing to note, though, is that Anis Tarsus did take the second Endure Pain. He took double Endure Pain over that Merciless Hammer damage.
Wow.
So we're going to have to look at if they're going to be able to pump out enough damage, maybe through Night, with Night compensating with that extra bleed damage. They might be able to burst targets a little bit differently, but still the same as what we're used to seeing.
So with that, we are finally ready to kick off the first round of the night. Again, this is going to be on 4. It's going to be really interesting to see how the teams break out and start the match. But I'm going to go ahead and ask the teams to ready up, and let's get the show on the road.
Absolutely. So what do you think about the split here? What do you think that you will be seeing from Team Drenched in Baby Oil?
Okay, so what
Braindead, as we're used to calling them today.
What I really want to see is I want to see if they go to the mid fight and they push 4 mid,
right?
Or if they actually try to split up Apex right on the start and try to get actual, actually forcing different matchups and trying to not engage them in a team fight and try to spread them out and try to spread Apex's comp out and make them rotate into better matchups. So what I want to see is I want to see if Hibba pushes far.
Right.
And if Hibba pushes far, that tells us, you know what, they're not going to try to fight Apex on midpoint. They're going to try to spread them out. But let's find out.
All right, and here we go.
Right away, I can see.
Hold on to your points. Seize theirs.
We've got, yes, they are pushing far. Red team is definitely pushing far. Looks
Definitely
like
the normal 2-2-1 split we're used to seeing with Anastarsis hanging back. We've got Knight and Chubbs doing their typical push. What I'm not used to seeing is seeing this kind of 3-person hang back with Hibba dropping damage down on Chubbs and Knight. That's something we're not used to seeing, so they get a little bit of pressure in before.
Red team is going to be able to cap their point uncontested.
Yep.
Looks like the push to far on the blue team got just a little too late. So we've got a one-on-one on the red team's home point, but red team is in control of that. At the meantime, Apex putting a lot of pressure on Braindead's home point, pushing into far right away. Let's see again how that matchup actually plays out.
One thing I liked that they did is they forced K-Pud, they hung him back to see where Anastarsis was going, and they sent K-Pud to go and apply pressure to Anastarsis with that counter build, with the Axe Sword.
But look, at mid right now, blue team was able to cap mid on both of the players that are playing there for Apex. That's huge, because that gets them back in the ball game. At the same time, they've also managed to nuke red team's home base against Anastarsis, but looks like K-Pud is actually taking a lot of damage. Is going to have to fall back there. Let's look at the mid fight, see how that's going. QTH-Man is actually getting out pressured by Hibify. Hibify is able to actually secure mid for blue team, and we've got ourselves a game right off the start.
We really do. We really do. Looking at all the players currently, their health, we got H-Man down already, off point. No one really there to support. It looks like he's just going to get pressured until he just goes ahead and dies. They're going to have to reset H-Man. But Wakey, though, they're pushing kind of everybody to that hinge point right now. It's under pressure. We got the 2-cap with Apex. It's going to be tough to take that back, especially with Wakey coming into that fight, coming in with 50% HP already on a build that's meant for sustain. There's not a lot of burst heal potential on that class. So it's going to be interesting seeing how Knight is already putting the pressure on him, how he kind of reacts to that.
So we've got a big team fight starting to develop on Henge in a 3v3 matchup, but looking over at the mine, we've got Nas is able to cap mine uncontested. Big mistake there coming from Apex, leaving their home node open like that. You know, that right away cost them the 2-cap, and we've already seen it once. Drenched or Braindead is able to out-rotate Apex.
But as we're seeing just now, midpoint did just get decapped by Anastarsis. Hibifoy was forced off point, and they wound up getting that nuke that they needed.
And the T-fight has now developed into a 4v4. Nas is going over to try to retake the Henge, but he's being intercepted by Anastarsis, so we're going to have a 1v1. I don't know if that's a good matchup for Nas there on Henge. That seems like that's a bad matchup that he doesn't want to be in. But he's able to get the newt. But red team still holding a slight lead. They're in a 2-on-1 situation now against Hibba, now turning into a 3-on-1 against Hibba on mid. Hibba just going to try to patrol that point as long as he possibly can and keep it in contention. But oh my gosh, look at that. Blue team briefly had the 2-cap as they're able to support the fight at Henge with Zeus. Tarsus is going down on Henge and is about to get stomped out. Wow. Wow. Right away, blue team's able to secure
Chubb's
Henge.
coming in. Chubb's coming in. Will he get the res? Is he going to try to pull it off? I don't think he's actually going to go for it.
No, he wasn't able to get it.
He canceled it. He canceled it.
He's got to pull back. Chubbs is going to have to pull back and try to go to mid and try to support there, or try to go to home node. Looking over at the mine, you've got a 2v2 H-Man versus who's that? Knight. Sorry, I'm trying to read the screen. H-Man versus Knight on mine.
Well, H-Man and Knight versus K-Pud and Wakey.
Who's got the upper hand here?
Well, I'm going to have to say it's going to be all changing right now because Tarsus coming in, Hibify coming in, K-Pud's under a lot of pressure, and without that peel with the hammer, I'm gonna say that K-Pud's going to go down soon after H-Man does. But with them coming now with the 3v2, I think that we're going to actually, he might not go full down. They might be able to pressure him to the point where he goes down, but they're going to get the res for sure.
It looks like blue team is getting the upper hand here, but Knight is going to rotate in, still has the spirit up.
And we have to remember that Knight does have a lot of burst.
K-Pud goes down. Let's see if they're able to get the pickup.
Yep.
This is a huge fight for the early stages of the map. Whoever wins this, and it looks like blue team was able to actually full cap the point. This is huge. Blue team is able to two cap again Apex.
With K-Pud down like this and Wakey just sitting there with low HP, K-Puds, they're probably going to be left there to bleed.
Yeah.
With Hibify low, Wakey low, they have no one to kneel down and get him.
Oh, but
Knight just went down too.
Knight goes down, and K-Pud gets up for the stomp. K-Pud gets the stomp on Vengeance. Brutal.
It looks like he got out of the Vengeance too.
Yes.
He did indeed get out of the Vengeance. K-Pud is up and still living.
Blue team is all in on this far point right now, putting heavy pressure on H-Man and Tarsus. They're allowing Chubbs, though, to kind of ledge, but Chubbs isn't going to have the damage output, I think, to really make a difference.
That Celestial Ammo is strong, but I don't believe that it's going to be strong enough. Not in this
Hibify's
situation.
Going low. Hibify and Kid. Oh, my gosh. Wakey just went down. Day with the stop. Still have a 3v3 with all players seriously in trouble in their health pools. Tarsus just went down. Hibify with the cleave. Let's see if they're going to be able to get the stomp. No, they were able to get the res off on Tarsus. K-Pud in the meantime goes down. Hibify trying to get the res. Oh, able to get H-Man off of that. Oh, but then Nas just went down. Nas just got stopped out by Tarsus.
Utter chaos on this point.
Oh my gosh.
Utter chaos. K-Pud down
They were able to nuke the point too. They were able to nuke the point.
You have to watch out for that.
Oh, but
and he's down.
And he's down. Wow. Wow. Red team takes that fight.
The thing is that we're not used to seeing the Staff Alley Meteor Shower in competitive play be actually strong and do a lot of damage pressure against these other teams. But I think we're going to see a lot of teams kind of veering away from that meteor shower. It does a lot of damage.
So now we got to see how blue team's going to, after losing that big team fight, they're going to have to readjust. They're going to have to try to come back and hit just as hard. Right away, you got somebody crossing over to mine. That's K-Pud. K-Pud's crossing over to mine to cap mine back. But looks like he's going to be interrupted by Chubbs. Who do you think is going to have the favorable matchup in that matchup there, looking at that?
Well, I think Chubbs is just being there because I don't see K-Pud taking him out. I don't see him being able to put enough pressure in to be able to take down Chubbs. I could be mistaken with that Doom Sigil. If Chubbs is not able to cleanse that poison early enough, he might have an opportunity with that Eviscerate being able to take him down, just as we saw there.
H-Man's already rotating into the fight, though, to help out Mine. So is Nas, though, on the blue team. So, again, looks like they're going to be fighting over that Mine point as the next big team fight in this match.
And off screen, just a second ago, we actually just missed H-Man just putting the pain down on Heba, just putting the pain down on him over towards the top right buff there on Svanir.
We are 300 points in, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with Braindead's effort.
I really am.
If you are throwing a team together last minute, you've got to play the winners of the NA Tournament of Legends, and you're winning. You're winning. You're 318 to 293 right now. That's impressive. I've got to say, I've got to hand it to Blue Team. They've come out with a huge fire right now. And again, looking at this team fight, they've just got Chubbs down. They're going to try to get the cleave.
Chubbs is going to get the res, though. Chubbs is going to get the res.
They just got Chubbs up. But they've managed to nuke the point. And on top of that, Hiba is able to get the decap on Tarsus. Wakey and Hiba are hitting Tarsus on keep. They just lost mid. Apex just lost mid.
We're going to see these points just being simply flipped. Team Apex is going to get their home node, but they're going to lose mid. Not a particularly good trade-off, in my opinion.
No, No, I mean, losing mid on this map especially is huge. And again, now blue team can kind of put in the cruise control. They can kind of force Apex to make an offensive mood here, and they can just start playing defensively.
Chubbs actually managed to get the res off of Morpheus with that glyph heal. Managed to get him that half
but
heal.
Morpheus goes right back down.
Too much pressure.
Too much pressure. Oh, and with the stomp, and that finishes that. But red team is able to newt mid. At the same time, they're losing Henge. Tarsus just back capped on one Henge.
Yep.
Wow.
We have the Necro here crossing though. Paunos is crossing over to mine. H-Man is on his tail.
Let's see if he's able to get the decap at least and put this game back into contention. Yes,
and
he
there's
is.
the decap.
Oh
there's
my gosh.
the decap.
But Tarsus full capped Henge. Blue team's going to need to get a point, otherwise you're going to start seeing Apex come back.
Just like that, blue team takes a capture point.
We have the 1-1 right now. Both teams with the single point. Chubbs is down. Knight just died. It's looking like it's going to be another mine fight. It really does. It looks like we're going to see a lot of people just swarming mine and trying to hold people there for as long as possible. Blue team really needs to hold them there for hopefully the rest of the match, really.
Yeah.
They really do.
You know, and at the same time, they've got Hibba trying to decap Henge or trying to put some pressure on Henge, but Knight has already rotated over to +1 that fight. Tarsus is also very strong against NGs just as a hand bow. I don't see Hibba actually able to decap that point. So the real action is going to be on mine, where right now you got a 3-on-3 and you don't see anybody getting the upper hand here yet. H-Man is going a little low. Zeus is putting a lot of pressure on him, but again, able to get the full heal off. Doesn't seem to be too worried. Up, going down again. Again, Zeus is really training H-Man, trying to bring him down. If they're able to get H-Man down and stopped up, they'll finally gain an upper hand in this match, in this fight.
Yep. I think what...
and H-Man just goes down. This is key. This is a huge moment. But Morpheus and Day right there to support him up. You know, that Morpheus and Chubbs combo is ridiculously strong. The amount of healing that they're able to put out.
A lot of support. A lot of support.
Man, this is coming down right to the wire. But this fight, you know, again, it's going in blue team's favor. All they have to do is keep red team here, keep red team engaged. Don't let them rotate, and they're going to win. They're only almost 50 points away from winning this fight. And Morpheus goes down. Nas is going to try to get the stomp. And he gets the stomp on Morpheus. H-Man just went down. Knight is coming in. So Knight has rotated into mine. I don't see how Apex can take this. I think they're going to go down 0-1.
What they did, I think, wrong here was they spread out a little bit too much where that support can't be given to them. And blue team just kind of took that as an opportunity to single out people and take them down one at a time.
Unbelievable. This is awesome. I can't say enough about the effort that Braindead put into that fight. I just can't. You know, again, you're coming in, you don't have Cade, you don't have Quilja, you have to find 2 replacements, and you're able to take the first match, take the first map against Apex. Wow. Wow.
Very impressive.
All right, so in that map, or in that first map, I mean, you already said it. You think that Apex was just a little too spread out.
A little bit.
So now the second map that we're rotating to, and I just want to make sure that I got this right, is Temple. How do you think that plays out in the next match?
Well, it's going to be one of those things where we have to see. It's going to be a lot dependent on what they do with the splits. As we saw, Drenched in Baby Oil was, or Braindead, as they're being called tonight. They were pretty intelligent on the splits. They were pretty smart. They sent K-Pud, the counter build, over to Anastarsis for the 1v1. I know Anastarsis likes that 1v1, but it's a smart play on their part for sure. So what we're going to have to see is possibly a little bit more pressure on Zeus. Zeus with that 1800 armor, 1900 armor on that build, probably around 15, 16k health. Not really getting pressured that very. He's pretty much just free casting a lot of his burst, and Apex needs to jump on that a lot quicker, or they're going to have problems. They really are.
Completely agree. Yeah. We're going to reset the map real fast. It went back to Forest, but we're going to send it over to Temple right now. One thing to watch here, though, is Far Point is a lot harder to get to than on Forest.
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot harder for Braindead to spread out Apex, I think, on the start.
Yep.
They're going to have to engage Apex in that team fight.
Yep.
That's going to be interesting to see.
And what we're going to definitely do is we're going to be looking at the way that they send Chubbs and they send Morph, because those are the two people we want to watch from Apex, because those are their pillars of support.
Yeah.
So when they send something like Tarsus or Knight, they won't typically couple them because there's not a lot of support. What Drenched in Baby Oil did was they definitely spread them out and kind of ruined that support ideal.
Exactly. All right, I think we're cutting to a quick commercial break, and then we will have the second round of this 5-round match. I'm excited.
I am too. Stay tuned.
All right, we're just waiting for the map to reset, but and actually we're just going into Temple of the Silent Storm now. The key thing to remember for Temple of the Silent Storm, and I see this mistake in Hot Join all the time, and even in solo queue and sometimes team queue matches, believe it or not, is forgetting about the buffs.
Yep.
And let's talk about the buffs.
In TOL.
Yeah, and I mean, let's talk about the buffs real fast, because I think that's such an important part of the map that you really have to coordinate with your team and make sure that you're at least contesting the buffs. Don't let teams get that buff uncontested.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's talk about it. First time the real important buff comes up is that top buff at 11:30. Okay.
Yep.
So you've got the 11. We call it the 11:30 buff on our team, and we're always calling out, hey, 30 seconds until 11:30. Keep that in mind. What does the 11:30 buff do for players that just don't know?
It's going to double your point score. If you have a single point, you're going to get, instead of 1 every score update, you're going to get 2. If you have 2, you're going to get 4. If you have 3, you're going to get 6.
So what that essentially does is, if you don't have a 2 cap, it gives you a 2 cap.
Yep. It'll even everything out. If it's a neuted point, you'll have the advantage. So it's a really good buff to take advantage of early on.
Yeah. So, the first time we're going to see the buffs come up is at 11:30 on the map time. The second time that buff comes up, and then you've got the bottom buff, is 8:30.
Yep.
And that's really where a lot of games get decided, is that 8:30 buff push. You've got at 11:30, you got the top buff. At 8:30, the top buff that we just talked about comes up, but then you also got the bottom.
Yep.
What does the bottom buff do?
That bottom buff is going to give you all 3 points for free. And not only that, but it's also going to proc I believe it's a Hydromancy sigil on all points and sort of do a knockback, I think, a little bit.
Yep. It'll knock you off the point if you are on the opposing team.
Yep.
So obviously you guys can see that is going to be crucial.
Yep.
We do have 1 DC, so we're just waiting for Zeus to get back in.
Yep.
Talking about this map, again, who do you think has the advantage?
I'm going to go ahead and put Drenched in Baby Oil as the advantage here. Reason being is that the composition that Apex runs, it's not as mobile as what some other comps have at their disposal. But on the same side of the coin, Apex is able to sustain those points during the buff phases and probably put some pressure on the other team that they might not be able to take.
Yeah, exactly. I think, the key thing here is, again, I think at the beginning of the game, you're going to have to fight Apex at that midpoint. You're going to have to try to win that midpoint off the start. But then again, try to spread them out.
Yep.
I think that's how I would approach Apex's comp constantly, is try to spread them out. Try to get them into bad matchups, and we just saw that work on Forest. So I can't wait to see what Drenched is able to come up with today on Temple. Again, communication. I can't emphasize it enough. Rotating to the right buffs.
Yep.
Rotating to the right buffs at the time.
And early, you need to make sure these teams are going to have to do it early. A lot of problems that come in solo queue and team queue is that the teams wait for the buffs to come up. They wait for them to call for it in the map, and then they go ahead and they move then. And at that point, it's just too late.
Yeah.
A lot of these top teams, Apex, they had H-Man and TOL2 in both of their final and semifinal matches. H-Man was there. He was waiting for it, and teams are going to have to be ready for that.
And, you know, the bottom buff is a lot slower to cap.
Yep.
And so you've got a little bit more time to try to go down there and contest it. But normally the team that is ready for the buffs and are already awaiting will win this map. And I cannot wait. Again, at 11:30 and 8:30, we're going to see those buffs come into play. I can't wait to see how they rotate and who rotates where and what kind of fights we see at those buffs.
Yep.
So looking at the comps, we're still waiting. We got Zeus in. We're just waiting for one more. We're just waiting for Hiba to come in. And Hiba is in the map. We're just waiting here for him to start over. We're going to have the teams ready up, and then we're going to go ahead and start match 2.
The match starts soon.
All right. Match is about to start. Let's watch the
Last
splits.
chance to nail down your strategy.
All right, here we go, starting up in 8 seconds here. I think what we're going to see is something similar to last game. We're going to see Anis Tarsus and K-Pud and a 1v1. That's the favorable matchup that we want to see a lot. So here we go, looking at it. We got Wakey going home node. Tarsus going home node as well. So K-Pud's making his way over. We're going to see that. We're going to see if anything happens in between there.
Nas ran onto the midpoint. But it looks like, yes, the one warrior from blue team is crossing over. That is crossing over to far. That is K-Pud. So we're going to have K-Pud versus Anis Tarsus on the far point. Blue team's getting their home point uncontested. And we've got that fight going on at mid, that team fight that we talked about earlier. Again, H-Man, Morpheus, Day and Night going up against Zeus, who is, again, free casting, not seeing a lot of pressure. Nas, Hiba, and Wakey. This is the fight to see, I think. I think this is the fight that is going to decide the early game. Night is already down. Wakey's putting on the pressure, but Morpheus is there with the knockback to get the res. At the same time, Nas is going down. Nas getting a lot of pressure there. Yes, Nas goes down from H-Man. Let's see if they can get the cleave off. No, they get the res. Good job, blue team. Wakey again. Again, this is going to be a very, very, very close team fight. Chubbs is going down a little bit, getting a little bit of pressure
on both sides.
But Day goes down. Day goes down. Hiba with the cleave, but no, they get Knight up, and they get Chubbs up, but Knight is going down now. Knight taking a lot of pressure.
Knight's getting his protection off. Knight's going to probably be able to maintain himself. But one thing that Apex did let happen was they let Alter just get capped, and they're letting that 1v1 happen. Tarsus managed to get K-Pud down in the 1v1 and almost really a 1v2 with the Necro coming over at the end there.
Now Nas is engaging Tarsus. It looks like he's going to have the upper hand here. Again, just in hype. Yes, Nas is able to actually down Tarsus on that far point for blue team. Able to get the stomp too. Wow. Right away, putting the pressure on Apex. They're already building that big lead. Yep. But at the same time, on far point, you've got H-Man going ahead and trying to decap that for Apex. Apex is able to get the far point. So it looks like they're going to trade close points, and that fight is going to go back to mid.
And with the reses coming out right now, with Tarsus coming up right now, we might see that home point might get flipped back. But Tarsus is going into the midpoint with Knight going down with a lot of pressure there. They're going to get the res off with Wakey at 10% right now.
Wakey just trying to survive. They're right away trying to peel for him, but man, getting a lot of pressure. Let's see if he's able to go, if he's able to survive.
They got Wakey down, but Knight traded.
Oh my gosh!
We'll just see Wakey is gone. Wakey is gone from midpoint. Wakey is out of the fight. And Knight's back up with 70% HP. Lots of regen on him. Soothing Mist as well.
Apex
He's got the toughness.
Yeah.
That's midpoint one.
That's midpoint
We're
one.
going to see Apex coming back. Hibified down now too. I'd be hard-pressed to say that Apex is about to make a comeback with the bus coming up in 20 seconds here.
Naslo's decapping that point, trying to get it back. Wow. Wow.
But we have to remember, like we talked about before, in 15 seconds, that buff comes up, and we have to be watching.
I think I only see Apex getting ready for that buff.
Blue team grabbed a capture
Blue
point.
team making a move. Blue team leaving Alter, trying to put across that bridge, create some zoning in the middle of that bridge with the
K-Pud's
hammer.
right away going to contest Stillness. Stillness is up. We have the 1130 buff up. Hibify's going for it, but H-Man is contesting it. That's where the next key fight's going to take place, at that Stillness buff. Remember, though, Drenched has that 2-cap. If you're Apex, you got to get the buff, or you got to start getting some points.
H-Man down at mid. Looks like Hib is going to get that.
This is huge for Blue
cap.
team if they're able to get this.
If they can't get any pressure, they got it.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
H-Man down as well.
H-Man
Too
is
many
down
condies.
and knocked down. Oh my gosh!
Out of the fight entirely.
At the same time, Alter is being neuted. You've got a 2v2 going on in Alter right now with Wakey and Zeus versus Tarsus.
That's their DPS split right there.
Yeah.
That's their DPS split right there. Knight and Tarsus
Nas just
taking out Wakey like it's butter.
Nas just rotated in, though. Let's see if he can make a difference here.
Tarsus is down. Tarsus down.
Nas is able to get Tarsus down with
And
Zeus's
there we
help.
go. Was that a plague stomp?
Yes, they got it.
That was a plague stomp to get that. Make sure that he got that.
Chubbs now rotates into Alter. Zeus is here along with Hibify. Huge fight going here. Again, Blue team got the top buff. They effectively have a 2-cap right now. The top buff just ended, but they had that 2-cap. They're up now 90 points. This is looking, again, very strong for Blue team.
Knight managed to get up, all of his spirits ready to go. He's knocked down right now, but he's got everything ready to go. If he can get out of that lockdown, which he can't, he's down.
Morpheus is just +1 this fight. Knight is stomped out. Knight got stomped out on the Alter fight.
We got about 1 minute and 15 seconds until the next set of buffs. Remember, that's both buffs. Both buffs will be available in 1 minute and 10 seconds now. And I don't really honestly know where this is going. I really don't.
You've got a one-on-one right now on mid with Tarsus and K-Pud. Looks like right now Tarsus is a half health. He's going down. He cannot lose that point. He's got to keep that. Going on for his team.
H-Man down. It's just going to be a battle of who can get the stomp first at this point. It looks like each team able to pressure the other, but H-Man's down.
Right now, Knight. Yes,
do they have the pressure?
Knight just decapped Temple.
Gets it off.
Knight is going to cap Temple for red team. This is huge. Oh, but K-Pud is able to get the stomp off with Zeus's help, so they're going to trade points here. Red team is going to get Temple, but at the same time, Blue team just capped mid. Again, buffs are up in 20 seconds. Let's see who rotates to those buffs. Again, this time it's the top buff and the bottom buff. This is the important moment of the match, especially with Blue team having almost a 100-point lead now.
And not only that, but both Morph and Chubbs are down currently, out of the fight with 5 seconds to move to those buffs.
Nas is now full capping Alter. This is the match right here. Red team, you got to get those buffs, otherwise you're going to go down 0-2.
Yep. Looking at the bottom buff fight here, it's Knight versus Wakey, Spirit Ranger versus Hambo, Poison burning on both sides. CC.
Oh my gosh, Tarsus is left alone at the top buff. He just went down.
Knight is down at the bottom buff. They got the stomp. It's just H-Man. H-Man, we have to remember, is running that Berserker's Amulet. Not as much survivability as that Soldier's Amulet. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to sustain, but Chubbs moves in now. It's a 2v2 again with lots of Condi, with lots of damage pressure, with lots of CC on Blue's side, but we can't put out Chubbs. We can't.
No, we can't. Looking at the top buff again, it's Morpheus now trolling that against Nas. Again, that's that Condi thing that we just talked about, that Necro versus Morpheus's build. Morpheus isn't set up to fight against Necros one-on-one. I just don't see him taking that matchup, especially, oh, he almost got feared off there. That would have been huge, huge for Blue team.
Almost a very clutch move. He had to pull out the shelter with poison on. Not ideal. Not ideal in the
definitely
slightest.
Not. But Morpheus, I gotta hand it to him. He is really playing this matchup well. He hasn't gone down as fast as I thought he would.
And there goes the Condi bomb, and it's done.
The Condi bomb, just as I gave him the shout out, he goes down. Nas is able to take that, but Morpheus got up. Morpheus got up and actually was self-rezzed. Was that Chubb? Yes.
It was not Chubbs.
No,
Chubbs
no,
is below.
Was that the banner? Was that the? I think that was Tarsus's banner.
No, Tarsus isn't running a banner.
I have no clue how he got up.
I honestly have no
honestly,
idea.
I didn't see any animation. I have no clue how he got up. We'll have to ask him at the end of that match. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable indeed.
At the same
Ferocity
time,
has appeared.
you know, they spent way too long fighting for these buffs. Blue team's going to take this.
It might have just been that symbol. Honestly, it might have been the symbol. Maybe not enough attention was paid, and he might have been able to get that. All right, looking now again at the top buff, 430 to 230. It's a 200-point spread
Oh my
here.
gosh. I'm just so impressed again by the entire blue team and what they're able to pull off here.
Both buffs still up currently. Both buffs.
Drench is obviously keeping all of Apex's focus on the top buffs. This is, again, great work by Drench. They're about to go up 2-0 right now. About to go up. They are one map away from taking this 3-0.
Yep.
This is just, again, for a team that coming into this didn't have 2 of their members and had to find a substitute, 2 substitutes last minute. Can't say enough about them. They are really taking it to Apex right now.
A real strong composition, as we're seeing here. A lot of Condi pressure, kind of overpowering what we're used to seeing Chubbs and Morph deal with on a regular basis. Not only that, but they brought Zeus to the table with a lot of burst damage that's basically being free casted on them.
Exactly. I, again, just can't say enough. Neither buff has been capped. This is just, I mean, this is crazy.
Really surprising indeed. So it looks like blue team, Braindead, Impulsively Braindead, is going to take
Gonna
this.
go up 2-0. They are
indeed.
one map away from winning this 3-0.
One
again,
map.
absolutely
But we have
incredible.
to remember, Legacy is Apex's map.
Yeah.
They typically, I believe right now they're running with 1 or 2 losses in total on that map. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Apex might be able to turn around with Legacy being twice in this.
Yeah.
So
all right. I think next we're going to do another raffle for gems. We're going to take a quick break and do another raffle. What? 5 minutes? We're going to take a 5-minute break as we switch. Okay.
We're going to go ahead and do the raffle now. So again, just spam that. What is it?
You want an exclamation point raffle. This is going to be our second contest for gems. Exclamation point raffle right now for gems. We're going to do, again, exclamation point raffle. Please remember, you have to be following this channel. You have to be following this channel in order to get the gems, though. So, again, if you don't have, if you're not following the channel, right now, spam iRaffle right now.
No, not iRaffle.
Oh, no,
exclamation point raffle.
I'm sorry, exclamation point raffle. Sorry, exclamation point raffle right now.
Spam it out.
Spam it out. Let's go.
Everything. I want to see everybody, all 161 people. I want to see everyone's name popping up 3, 4, 5,000 times.
Let's go, guys. Exclamation point raffle.
All right. But looking back at the match, what did you see wrong, honestly?
You know, again, I think it comes down to they got out-rotated.
They did.
And blue team is just doing a much better job staying coordinated, which, again, I can't say enough, is absolutely incredible.
Yep.
Considering they were just put together tonight. I know these are all top, really good players.
Yep.
This, I mean, again, they just started playing together right now with 2 new members. This is incredible. I think, honestly, it's the combination of Nas and Zeus.
Yep,
Having
absolutely.
that Condi bomb pressure that we saw take out Morpheus. Nas just landing that with a build that he personally is making famous right now. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, Zeus playing his standard fresh air burst, getting that burst off, is again really taking it to Apex. They're not able to sustain that. Honestly, I really think Drench just came out with a little bit more fire too.
Yep.
They're just playing lights out.
Yep.
And they just really took it to Apex in that second game.
Yep.
I mean, just beat them down, and that's impressive.
Yeah.
I just got to hand it to them. They're playing lights out. This is great. This has been fun to watch.
I think the main thing that Apex is going to have to do if they want to see a turnaround is they're going to have to apply pressure to both Noskok and they're going to have to apply pressure to Zeus, and it's going to need to be quick, and it's going to need to be painful.
Yeah.
It's going to need to be both warriors, or it's going to need to be Knight and Tarsus, Knight and H-Man and Tarsus, something like that. They're going to have to apply a lot of pressure to those two targets because they don't have the same sustain that the other people on the team have.
Now, looking at this map coming up, we've got Legacy. This is match point. Okay.
Yep.
So if you are the blue team, if you are drenched, you got to keep doing what you're doing. You got to keep playing with that fire. First of all, you got to start coordinating your bursts, and getting the pressure on, and you got to put Apex out right now.
Yep.
Okay. Keep out rotating them. Keep making quick decisions on where you're going to go, and force Apex into bad matchups. On the flip side of that, if you're Apex, you got to start playing your game.
Yep,
okay?
absolutely.
You got to start.
And this is the map where they start doing it.
Exactly. And again, this is the map where the Apex comp is very hard to beat.
Yep.
And so we're going to have to see, can blue team sustain that? Can they sustain the success that they've had all night? Or is Apex going to be able to take this one just on the virtue of their comp and their ability to support each other in mid? The key thing to this map, I think, is winning mid.
Yep, absolutely.
If you're able to win mid, I think you can just steamroll the rest of the way most of the time.
And mid is a hard thing to cap back. It's so big. It allows for a lot of room for a lot of people to move around. And blue team's going to be really hard pressed to take that back if Chubbs is able to take that from them.
Exactly.
That's truly what I believe to be Chubbs' point. That is where he shines the most. I know for sure that's where he does most of his practice. So if they let him sit there, they're going to have some problems for sure.
Yeah, exactly. At the same time, if this comes down to Lord kill, who do you think has the advantage? Okay, because remember, you get that Lord, all right, you're able to gain that 150 point buff, point boost. If you get to 350, that's an instant win.
Yep.
Okay. So who do you think has the advantage if it comes down to just Lord kill?
I'm gonna go ahead and put my money on the fact that neither team is gonna even press Lord. I think we'll see both teams try for a gate, but I don't think that either team is gonna want to do that because of the fact that I think it's gonna be a relatively close score.
Okay.
And both teams are gonna want to solidify those points because they're more assured in doing so that they're going to probably not do that. But if it does run down to that, blue team has the burst, red team has the ability to keep their Keep Lord up. So we'll have to see.
Which one, we're going to have to see which one actually has the advantage there.
Yeah,
I don't know. Again, I hope it comes down to a Lord kill because on this map, this is where all the excitement from Guild Wars 2 comes from.
Exactly,
right here,
exactly.
How many times have you seen that Misspedia highlight video?
Yep.
Where Blue is just going insane, getting so hyped like we know Blue can do, and calling that map.
I believe that was Super.
Yeah,
Super. Right. Yeah.
And they're getting that Lord kill.
Great play.
That's where all the hype comes from.
Yep.
I hope we see that.
I do too.
I hope the viewers get to see that tonight. I want to see a good map here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of rooting for Drenched. I want to see Drenched take this.
It would definitely be interesting to see.
It would be a fantastic story to tell of just a team that was having to get some subs, had to find somebody, and oh my gosh, just I want to see them take this so bad.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be a little favoritism here. I'm gonna be rooting for Drenched.
All right. At this time, we're actually going to end the raffle. You guys do not have to spam the chat anymore. We have our winner. That winner is iBlazion with 3 N's at the end. Congratulations, iBlazion. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
You are the winner of our second gem code. But at our post-game show, we have one more gem code to give away, and we're going to have a Bloodytech mouse to give away. Now, I want to announce one thing about the Bloodytech mouse. I want to make sure that I'm clear about this for our viewers. You have to, in order to win the Bloodytech mouse, you have to go to www.bloody.ts. www.bloodyts.ts. The link is actually down in our Twitch stream right now. Go there, register in order to win the mouse.
That's bloody.tw actually.
Sorry.
But the link is there under
TW.
support our sponsors. You can go ahead and just free click on that. You don't have to write anything in. Poor Justin here doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'm an epic fail. What can I say? First time casting. All right, guys. So we're about ready to get started. We're going to go ahead and tell the teams to ready up and get them moving. All
right, getting ready to go here. Let's check to see if anybody has made any any changes. Looks like Morph has decided to stay with that Cleric Amulet, not moving over to his Magi's that he's been playing with recently. Chubb's still staying on that Celestial Amulet. It doesn't look like anybody's really making any changes here. Knight's still staying on that burst. Looks like the same builds. It looks like they want to stay with what they're comfortable with for this because they feel, I believe they feel like this is their map.
Looking at the blue team, you know, I'm not seeing any changes either. I'm seeing a lot of the same stuff. Why would you change, you know? I mean, you're up 2-0. Just keep doing what you're doing, you know? Zeus again going to try to go with that, you know, that staff speed burst at the start. Yep. They've already started. Let's watch this start. Let's watch the split.
Both teams with almost a minute of swiftness here. They're going to be able to get to those points quite easily. I think we're going to see the same kind of thing with the splits. All teams kind of like do the same idea. Looks like Morph is actually heading over with Tarsus to try to maybe take out K-Pud early, while H-Man is over there at mid alone against Heba. It looks like Chubbs and Knight going over to the far point at Waterfall to take that at 2-2.
And Nas is right away going over to +1 that fight. I think that's a great decision.
Right behind him.
Right, you know, going to guarantee. Oh my gosh, Nas is in Lich. Oh my gosh, I missed
Knight
that.
out
Nas
immediately.
switched to Lich form and go ahead and takes out Knight. Wow, I missed that.
That is a smart decision.
I missed that change. Oh my gosh, Apex is not ready for that.
Day is low, pressured off the point with no utilities.
Adding more burst to your comp with that Necro. Oh my gosh.
It looks like Chubbs is trying. It looks like they're trying to move the fight to midpoint, trying to recover from this.
I didn't have enough time to switch or to look at Nas's build. He actually switched to power. He was running full Zerker power right now. That was the one build I didn't get to before the match started. He's running staff with the axe and the warhorn, going full Necro burst here. Wow.
Wins a capture point.
So again, the fight has now carried over to the midpoint. Both teams were able to cap their home node, but remember, blue team was able to get those kills, so they have that early advantage. Yep. Let's see, though, again, with both Nas being squishy and Zeus, it's going to be hard for them to support their team at the mid-fight.
K-Pud down. Looks like Tarsus is just going to let him bleed out.
H-Man is also down. Nas just took down H-Man over in the corner at mid.
I'm incapacitated.
Will H-Man? Nope, he got stomped out.
He got stomped out. Awesome for the blue team.
K-Pud actually managed to get up. Maybe he got a tag in on H-Man.
Hippify, though, is going low. Hippify is going low over in the corner, going down over by Waterfall.
Looks like Knight is next.
Again, though, Wakey was able to help get the res. At the same time, Knight is going down, taking a lot of pressure. Knight is able to heal.
He got all the support he needed with the spirits back up. It looks like he's going to get that protection. He's going to get that support he needs from Chubbs and Morpheus, and he's going to get back into the fight here.
At the same time, H-Man is back in the fight. H-Man was able to respawn. He's going to right away put pressure on Nas. Nas, you're going to have to try to peel away, man.
But with Zeus
Nas
running
is so low, but he's in his death shroud. That second health bar, you know, so key for Necro.
Absolutely.
Sometimes
but there he goes. He
Nas
goes down.
Are they going to be able to get him up? No, they get the stomp on Nas. Huge advantage for the red team now. Red team was able to full cap the point too, but K-Pud went over to mine. Was able to decap mine. He might get the full cap, but Tarsus and Day are coming over. Hippify's coming over to help. Looks like the fight has now moved over to the side points with mid being capped. Just like you said, you know, Apex now has that mid point that's very hard to decap once you have it.
Yep.
Unless your team messes up and you don't leave somebody to watch that point. It looks like that's going to be in Apex's favor for the rest of the match. You're going to have to play side points now if you're drenched. You know, you're going to have to play side points and try to win those side fights. But that's the game if you're drenched that you want to play. I think, you know,
absolutely.
And so we're just going to have to see. A huge fight now, 3v3 going on at mine. Tarsus just went down.
K-Pud got him.
is taking a lot of pressure at the same time. Oh, Day just went down. Looks like blue team's going to have this.
Day not able to get that glyph heal off on himself early enough, so he's down 2. It looks like they're going to get that 2 cap on the side points, just as you said before. They're going to be able to apply that pressure, while Apex is just going to look to hold mid and try to push in one direction, probably together all at once.
Yeah.
K-Pud now getting that gate down, as I said.
Zeus putting a lot of pressure on Knight combined with Nas. That Zeus Nas burst is going to be really hard to deal with if you're Apex.
Especially if you're on a build like Knight or H-Man. Knight running that
H-Man just went down. H-Man just went down. Nas actually
There's
puts
the
Knight
Lich.
down too. Oh my gosh, blue team is making a strong push for mid here. You know what?
A strong call here indeed, because what they did here was they got the Lich Form out, and what Zeus did was he put up that big bubble from the Ellie focus, and what that does is it takes out the projectiles so that the Lich can go ahead and operate freely. They're not going to be able to get the immobilizes off on him with the longbow. It's just going to break those entirely. The Lich is going to have free mobility.
Knight has been cleaved down. It's just Chubbs with H-Man coming into support. At the same time, Zeus and K-Pud are able to keep Tarsus from capping mine. Unbelievable. You know, they have the side points, but they're still able to put so much pressure on Graveyard.
Yep.
This is incredible. Day is still down. Wakey coming over to try to get the stomp. Knight trying to get the res.
It looks like the stomp is actually going to,
a lot of cleave got put down there.
So here we go with Apex taking that point. It looks like a lot of pressure on Nas.
Overextended.
Nas is down.
Nas, big mistake from Nas. They're just sort of overextended, trying to get that kill. He's able to stomp out. I think that ends the pressure on mid. I think if you're blue team, you got to pull back.
Solidified now. Now they just have to make sure that they can cover their points and make sure that Nas can get back in time for them to be able to apply that pressure back to that point. And first, hold what they have, and then second, put that pressure on midpoint so that they can make sure that no one has the ability to roam.
We got a 2v2 developing on Waterfall right now. Actually, now
Chubb's coming in.
Yeah, Chubb's just plussed it. So we've got Wakey and Zeus trying to hold out against 3. Nas is going to come over here to support. This is the next big fight. If you're Apex, you got to try to win this point back right now.
And Zeus getting low now, but he's peeling out. That's one thing that they're doing well. Zeus is down. H-Man applied that pressure off point with the mist coming out right now. It looks like they might be able to get that kill there with a lot of cleave being put down. But H-Man's down as well. If they can.
No. Zeus just got cleaved out. Zeus just got cleaved out.
H-Man back up.
Hiba smartly rotates over to help his team. They've managed to nuke the point though, but again, blue team's got a 100-point lead here with that 2-cap. I think Apex was just a little too slow trying to react here.
H-Man under a lot of pressure, but Noskok under pressure as well as
oh my God,
Hiba.
Hiba just went down. This is key. Get the stop. Let's see if they can get it.
There
They just got the stop.
Morpheus got it. Morpheus moving back to mid to support K-Pud versus Tarsus, the favorable matchup there. So let's go ahead and let's check it out. So let's check out that mid fight now. Let's check to see.
Yeah, Tarsus was able to beat off K-Pud.
Yep.
K-Pud just
K-Pud
going back.
sent back to his node. Looking back at this fight here, Wakey's down off point. They're gonna look to bleed him out with Eho Man, that comical wolf pet from Knight. But there they go with the 2-cap. It's going to look like they're going to try to hold these nodes and just beat them out with the 2-cap.
If you're a blue team, do you go Lord right now?
I'm going to
go Lord.
With the lead that they have, with the sustain that Apex is known for, with the ability for Apex to kind of lock down a lot of their damage. It looks like he was trying to get that gate down for that just in case scenario, but I don't really see them doing it.
I don't know. I feel like blue team, you might have lost the momentum here with losing Waterfall. You're either gonna have to, in my opinion, push Waterfall and either get that back.
Hiba looking like he's gonna start on the soldiers.
Hiba's gonna right away start on the soldiers. I think you almost have to go Lord here. I would almost do it.
It looks like all of blue team is pressing now. They're gonna get that 350. It's gonna come down to this.
Number. They are going for the Lord. I'm going to call it right now because I think they felt like they lost momentum after losing Waterfall. You don't want it. This is the time to go Lord. You know, you just lost momentum.
Apex being
but you still
slow.
have the lead.
Apex is being a little bit too slow on the reaction time. It's like they're spread out and not really coming. They got Chubbs coming alone.
Lord is already going down. Lord is going to get killed.
It's done.
Blue team takes it. 3-0. 3-0 to Braindead.
Not quick enough. Not quick enough on Apex's part. Not quick enough at all. All right.
Unbelievable.
So let's go ahead, and before we go into that recap, let's start our last raffle. Let's
do it.
Let's do that last one. Let's do that last one right now.
All right, let's do it.
So again, exclamation point raffle. Put it up in the chat. Spam it out. You know, as many times as possible, because why not?
All right. So we just saw we just saw Braindead take 3-0 against Apex. And
The
again,
top team of TOL has been dethroned tonight.
completely. I think they were put on notice tonight.
They were,
indeed. I think people are starting to figure them out.
Yep.
And at the same time, you just got to hand it to Hibba. You got to hand it to K-Pud, Zeus, all of the members of Braindead tonight.
A truly smart performance from Blue Team tonight with that Lich form.
Yeah.
Not something we all expected. I don't think anybody really expected it except for maybe that team.
No, you know what? And I overlooked it. When I was looking at the builds, that was the one person that I didn't get to look at was Nas, the Necro.
Yep.
Totally missed that he had switched to Zerker, and what an adjustment.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. A truly smart play on their part.
Just able to overburst Apex down. Can't say enough about them. This was incredible.
Yep.
Looking forward, we just saw, for anybody out there now that thinks the Apex comp is unbeatable, you just saw 3-0. You just saw a team come in and beat them down. And they did it just how we talked about. Burst.
Right.
And focusing the right people. Focusing down Chubbs. Focusing down Morpheus.
Right.
I think that's the way to go if you're going to go up against a comp
Chubbs
like this.
under a lot of pressure. They took the right targets. They took out H-Man early with him being Zerker. They took out Chubbs pretty early. They took out Knight pretty early. They left Tarsus to get CC'd. So I think what it comes down to, who is our man of the match? Who is that MVP?
You know what?
What do you think?
Personally, after watching him 1v1 at the top buff, after that smart adjustment, I would hand it to Nas. I think Nas was the difference maker here.
Right.
That's the direction that I would go to. How about you?
I would not put, Blue Team was really smart. You have to give it to him. I would not put Zeus out of the running. I would not. With that ability, with all the damage pressure that he provided off point, not really being pressured a lot by Team Apex, he was able to kind of clinch a lot of those team fights without really being noticed.
Yeah.
So that was some smart play as well. So
Yeah.
I would definitely put it between the two of them myself personally.
Absolutely. It's important to know Zeus, all-star candidate.
Yep.
We just saw why.
Yep.
I think
Absolutely. For both of them, really.
Yeah.
For both of them.
Yeah. And I just got to hand it to both of them. They played lights out tonight.
Yep.
At the same time, we have you guys deciding the man of the match. We don't get to decide that. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a poll, and we're going to ask you guys to vote for man of the match. It will be on digitalprosports.com. So after this stream, after the stream is over with, log on tomorrow in between matches on the Tournament of Legends. Vote for the man of the match. Tomorrow during the Tournament of Legends, take a break. Go to digitalprosports.com. Vote for the man of the match. And that person will be winning a Bloodytech mouse on top of the $50 that Drenched won.
Yep.
That'll be interesting to see. I cannot wait to see
assuming of course it was not an Apex player that gets voted in.
Yeah,
so
you could
you
vote
never
for
know.
an Apex player. Who knows?
You could. Yeah. I mean, both teams had some stellar play. Blue just came out with the better decision making, I think, and a little bit quicker on all of those uptakes.
Yeah, exactly. We are going to do one more raffle, and hopefully you guys have gone to bloody.tw and registered with the site.
Yep.
Because in order to win this mouse, you have to go to bloody.tw.
Right. And again, that link is right below the stream itself.
And we are still waiting on the winner for the gems.
Yep.
So I want to remind you guys that we have one more raffle coming up in just a couple seconds. Okay. But you have to go to bloody.tw and register on that site. So what I'm going to tell you guys right now, we're going to cut to a quick Bloodytech commercial one last time. Okay. And then when we get back, we're going to announce the winner of the gems, the last set of gems that we have.
Right.
Okay. And then on top of that, all right, we're going to do the raffle for the bloody.tw, and then we're going to do our final recap.
Yep.
All right. So cutting to a quick commercial break.
Stay
And then
tuned, guys.
we'll be back for those last raffles. All right, guys, welcome back. And again, we are about to announce the winner of the gems. And then at the same time, we're going to be doing our last raffle for the Bloodytech mouse. Okay,
Right.
One of you guys is actually going to win a Bloodytech mouse in just a couple seconds. But first, we have the winner for the last gems. The gems go to Noptics.
Noptics?
Noptics. There you go. Noptics.
Congratulations, Noptics, for
can't
your...
shoutcast and can't read sometimes.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So Noptics, congratulations. You are our last winner of the gems. Now we're going to raffle off the Bloodytech mouse. But remember, you have to have registered. To the website. I'm getting a notice though in my headset that they just want a couple more seconds to reset the raffle.
Okay.
So why don't we go do our post game wrap up?
Absolutely.
And then what we'll do is we'll do the mouse when we get the notice that they're ready.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So looking at the recap one last time, do you think after watching this that more teams are going to want to run burst, or are they going to want to run like an Apex comp? Which one do you think is going to be more popular at the NA Tournament of Legends and the EU Tournament of Legends starting this weekend?
I think we don't give either NA or EU enough credit. I think they're going to be running to their strengths. Okay. I don't think they're going to be doing a lot of the copy. We saw with KPZ doing the same thing that Apex was doing. They still brought their own flavor to it. We got to give credit to all the teams out in NA and EU. EU doing things a little bit differently, obviously, than what NA is doing for PvP. A little bit more bursty, a little bit less Condi related. So we have to give them a little bit of credit. I think we're going to see a lot of everything. We're going to see some things that we're not used to seeing, perhaps in this TOL2 with all of these teams coming. I think we're gonna have some cool stuff to watch. I really do think that.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. And again, guys, that's starting this weekend. EU is tomorrow. Okay, and then on Sunday you're going to have the NA teams. Again, start looking for what we were talking about today. Just teams that are playing to their strengths. All right, you're going to see a lot of all-stars playing, a lot of great players playing some PvP. This is an exciting time to be a Guild Wars 2 PvPer. I'm not gonna lie.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely.
A lot of good stuff coming. So at the same time, we're going to have to look at the meta and see how it changes moving forward. I think personally it's going to go just a little bit more bursty and a little less tanky. Especially from what you saw tonight, coordinated burst I think brings down good players. And if you're able to target and you're able to get that burst off, I think that's going to be the difference. So I think I'm good personally. I think I see a lot of teams running a more bursty comp this weekend and trying to coordinate the burst.
Absolutely.
Because I think honestly that's where a lot of team fights are won, is which team is able to coordinate that burst and get it on the right person fastest.
Yep. And I think that's what teams are most comfortable with anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So I think are we ready for the raffle? We are ready for the raffle. So the winner of the Bloodytech mouse, was Worst Guard NA. Worst Guard NA. Congratulations.
A Twitch streamer, I believe.
A Twitch streamer.
A pretty regular one, I think.
Nice. Congratulations, Worst Guard NA. You just won a Bloodytech mouse. We'll be in touch with you shortly to get that mouse over to you. Okay? All right, awesome. Well, guys, I want to say thank you very much to all of you for coming out and watching this. I know it was a little rough. I'm not going to lie. I think we all know that.
Yep.
But this is our first cast. So we knew we had a couple bugs to work out. Again, congratulations to Braindead.
Absolutely.
Coming
Absolutely.
in here last minute,
show.
They were talking to me. I think Hibbo was talking to me at 6:50, working out whether or not he had enough players.
Yep. And trying to fill everybody in. Yep.
And just, I remember, from where we're streaming, everybody's running around. It's all chaotic. And we didn't even have a second team, or we thought we didn't have a second team coming in at 6:50, you know, and stream starts in 30 minutes, or 40 minutes. So having to say that, I got to tip my hat off to Braindead, just taking Apex 3.0. They win the $50. They win the WT Fast premium subscriptions. Remember, look for the man of the match vote. Coming up on digitalprosports.com. If you haven't already, do us a favor, subscribe to the bottom of the channel, or follow the bottom of the channel. It'll help us get better quality for the stream and fix some of the stream issues that we were having earlier. And again, go to digitalprosports.com and look for our man of the match vote.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and take it away. Watch the EU Tournament of Legends tomorrow, NA Tournament of Legends then on Sunday, You guys have a great night. See you guys later.